November 20th, 1208. His ass can't fit in the car, so that makes sense. It's a shame we can't take Muriel with us. At least she's going there with the guild, rather than traveling on her own. Yeah, sounds like they're planning to send a lot of people over to Oracion. Can't think of a better group for the job. Indeed, helping civilians is what they do best. Meanwhile, we're only going to avenge that handsome reporter guy. Were you able to get the matter settled with your school, Agnès? I told them yesterday I would be absent for a few days due to a family emergency. They've always been very accommodating of my family situation. Although I've never taken advantage of it like this. I don't think anyone can blame you given the circumstances. Still a black mark on your spotless record though. Miss Perfect's gonna turn to Mr. Link before we know it. As long as she doesn't sink to Van's level, she'll be fine. I am literally standing right here. You guys sure do love to bicker, don't you? This is not bickering, this is bantering. You would know it if you had any friends. What of Miss Bright and your other friends? Have you informed them? It is weird to see Rin referred to as Miss Bright. It did short circuit my brain for like a quarter second. I was like, wait, what? Rin already knows. She's going to be helping the guild on this mission. She already left last night, so I expect we'll run into her and Oracion. Makes sense. Guess you had to take some time off too, then. Yes, she told the school she received an emergency request to return home from the Liberalian embassy. I didn't get a chance to fill in Odette and Albert on what's been happening, though. Man, that's a flex. Sorry, not gonna be there for class tomorrow, Professor. Diplomatic emergency, gotta leave. Foreign government requested my presence. I'll make it a point to apologize to them when we get back. Sounds like a plan. Morning, y'all. Sorry you had to get up so early on our account. How to get the bistro ready for business, anyway. Though, tell me, why is the actress going along with you? Long story. I'm going with them to assess the location for my next film. I hope that goes well, then. I feel like you've kind of fallen off lately, so I'd like to see you, you know, actually be in a good movie. I was hoping Yume would be able to get up and see you all, but it was just too early for her. We'll buy a souvenir or two while we're out, so tell her to look forward to them. Of course, I'll do just that. Meanwhile, Yume's actually hidden in the back seat. I'm almost scared to ask would you have to leave for Oracion of all places, especially at a time like this. But remember, I'm holding you to your promise about that souvenir. Take good care of your people, you troublemaking buffoon. You don't. If even one of them gets hurt, I'm dumping the rent in your office. Ouch, ain't pulling your punches, are you? Well, I'll do what I can to keep them safe. We'll pick the best souvenir money can buy. I'll put a big smile on Yume's face, guaranteed. Not known each other for long, Mr. Zaman. I can tell you're an ordinary traveler. Make sure my tenants come back safe and sound. I'm economically dependent on them. Of course, it's what I'm here for. In return, why don't we go another round of chess when I get back? I'll be opposed to having more of that heavenly food of yours, too. Nothing would make me happier, especially since our game last night ended in a draw.
Wait!
Albert? Odette? Sorry, we only got space for Odette in the car. She can come if she wants. What are you two doing here?
Ren texted us. She said the two of you will be absent for the next 3 days.
Yeah, I guess I should have ended the video when we saved.
As soon as I got her message, I woke up Odette, and we called a cab and got here as fast as possible.
Most trains aren't running at this hour, so that was really our only option.
I guess we're just gonna have another long boy. I guess since I have a bit of a backlog, I suppose we can have a long boy video.
Now then, where exactly are you going this early, Off on another thrilling adventure with that scoundrel and his shady entourage?
Our shady entourage is like half children. If you think children are shady, like maybe that's a self-report.
If you keep throwing yourself into danger, one day you'll wind up getting hurt. Or worse.
Sorry for worrying you both. I should have told you sooner. I can't promise it won't be dangerous, but I have to do.
No! You don't have to do anything. I don't want to lose you. I mean, look at what happened to Cray. I know you put a lot of pressure on yourself because of your family, but if that's your only reason, if you're just risking your life for your dad's sake, then I won't let you go.
I mean, why can't you just assume it's because she's a good person and wants to help? Agnès. I'll admit that I'm doing this in part because of my dad. That's not my only reason. Ever since I started this job, I've been exposed to people of all walks of life. I've accumulated a wealth of important life experiences. And I felt closer to my mother and grandmother than ever before through the things they left me behind. It's all become just as vital to my growth as our day-to-day lessons at Aramis. I'd even go so far as say it's become an inseparable part of who I am. So please, don't try and stop me. I'm not just going because of my family, or because of what they passed down to me. I'm going because this is something I have to do for myself.
Agnès.
Get blown the fuck out. Friendship speech. It's a damn CID. Cheese it. Whose car is that?
You're certainly up bright and early. About to depart, I take it?
Man. How's he doing here? What up, it's your boy? Wow. Him? That's the guy who's always in the city screen. That's the TV man. Sometimes Fairy being completely oblivious is like, it doesn't always hit, but sometimes that shit hits. And this is one of those times where it hit.
Dad.
One must always be responsible when making critical decisions, and be acutely aware of their potential repercussions. I pray you took that into careful consideration when making yours, Agnès.
Of course I did. I am my father's daughter, after all. I fully intend to seize every opportunity to broaden my horizons and learn from my collective experiences. As much as it pains me to admit, I can't promise that I'll return safe and sound, but I can promise that I'll spare no effort to do so. The last thing I want is to sadden you and the friends I love so dearly.
Agnès.
Very well. Make the most of your connections while you're away. The CID is at your beck and call. There are many truths that lie dormant in the gap between ideals and reality. You would do well to seek them out. I will cover for you with regards to your absence from Aramis. You have 3 days, no more, no less. If you exceed that, I will send in the army. That is as far as I'm willing to compromise.
That's more than enough. Thank you, Dad.
Also, Mr. President, I will say, sending in the army onto the city that maybe has a nuclear bomb constructed underneath it in the enemy super base, maybe not a good idea. Just saying, just want to offer you a little bit of strategic advice.
I entrust my daughter into your care, Arkwright. You would do well to utilize her services to the fullest. I see you've gathered a retinue of assistants and associates. I am depending on you all to keep her safe from harm.
No need to worry, Mr. Prez. Your girl's in good hands. We may skirt the rules of society from time to time, but we ain't about to break any labor laws.
Meanwhile, Van absolutely breaking labor laws.
I too will do all I can to ensure the safety of everyone here.
You have my thanks.
I will give you a call once you reach the city.
Imagine getting promoted and the promotion is just you get to drive the president around.
I shall leave a certain other woman in your capable hands as well.
Always finds a way to saddle me with busy work. Anyway, that president is sure something. Definitely has the looks for the part. But he sure doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. The guy clearly cares about you, but he just won't come out and say it.
Well, he is a politician at heart. Evading direct answers is what they're good at.
Get their ass?
Ah, darn it. I had so many arguments prepared, but now they've been blown out of the water. Just come back to me safely, all right?
Will do.
If anything does happen, just give us a ring, and we'll be there before you know it.
No, you won't. Your ass ain't getting past the fucking blockade.
Until then, please look after our friend.
Of course!
Yeah, you got it.
Now, if they hadn't have directly called her dad the president, I did have a joke cooked up where Fairy was gonna be like, I can't believe Agnès' dad works for the news. Because he's always on the TV. Delivering news stuff. I'm really sorry for keeping this all from you. Your relation to Professor Epstein was plenty surprising as is. I never imagined your father was a huge celebrity too. Well, obvious you're hiding something, but damn, it's a hell of a bombshell. Honestly, I guess if this cutscene does go on for like super long, we may cut this into 2 parts at the part where we saved. Just kind of depend. If this goes on for, well, it'll depend on when that actually was. I can't remember time-wise. I think it was like 50 minutes. And we're at like an hour and 24 right now, so we actually probably will split this into 2 parts. I get what you mean. I assume the decision to conceal your surname was made by the government? That's correct. It was part of a program designed to protect confidential state secrets. Claudel is my mother's last name. My real name is... I feel like it should be something completely random. Because Claudel, I feel like that's not enough steps of difference away for them to not be able to figure out that she's the president's daughter. You ain't gotta spell it out. Yeah, we don't do that in this series. We just vaguely hint that we're going to explain stuff and then we never do it. No, I'm not mad. I don't. You bought it from your mother's side though. Really? It's been 4 years since my mother died now. Before that, even though my father was a politician in the opposition party, he was always just dad to me. After Mom died, and especially after he announced his candidacy 2 years ago, we've been drifting further and further apart. I was followed by the surprise election result that I'm sure you all know about. After that, I enrolled at Aramis under my mother's surname. I wasn't expecting my childhood friends, Adet and Albert, to be there too, though. Hands remained distant ever since. I suppose that's what led me to becoming so invested in the diaries Mom left behind. Which eventually brought me to Fan to find out about the Genesis. I think you all know the rest of the story from there. Agnès, that's how it is. Both my mother and grandmother are still around, so I can't relate to the part of your story. But I can certainly understand being attached to your family's legacy. Seem to be much the same in that respect. Just so you know, I don't discriminate, so your parents ain't a problem for me. But as long as I'm paying you, I'll be working you hard. Don't need your pops telling me to do that. Of course. And definitely you will be being paid the federal minimum wage. If your dad's got a problem with that, he should get to fucking work. If this is supposed to be what people can live on, let's put it to test. I've got your back, Agnès. How do you end up being such a group of weirdos? Myself included, I guess. I mean, you're the only one that's turned into a demon monster that tried to end the world. Old man here's got something that draws in people like us. I don't know if you can call him old man anymore now that there's actually an old-ass man in the squad. He's not wrong. I know I can see you all making faces in the rearview mirror like I'm some kind of trouble magnet, right? I mean, for the record, Rosette's not. Rosette's like playing freaking show tunes in her head or something. Especially you, Judith. You don't even work for me. I've made arrangements to pay her consummate with the services she provides. What? Say what? I insisted on working for free, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. Come on, Rosette. She's already rolling in cash from all her acting work. Amir was gonna go towards a new body kit for the car. Man. I swear this dude only cares about the 3 C's, cars, confections, and communal baths. If I ever end up like him, please smack me upside the head. I think you may need to start keeping him on a shorter leash, Agnès. I'll consider it. Yeah, dude's got telepathy. Yeah, he heard everything. Why the fuck they make the city so far away, man? On the way to Oracion, they came across several checkpoints put up due to the emergency declaration, but the CID had arranged for them to pass through. After a brief pit stop in Anchorville, they hit the road northeast. I don't know if I would trust that. No fucking shot letting Aaron ride the motorcycle. What do you think? What do you think Aaron's listening to? Only incorrect answers. The city we're heading to is the capital of Calvert for the revolution 100 years ago. It has a population around 280,000 people, making it the 3rd most populous city in the Republic. It's a lot fewer people than the capital's 800,000 and Longport's 550,000. You say something, Aaron? Man, this bike you got here is pure fire. I can't wipe the grit off my face. Glad you were enjoying it, but ride with care, or else. I didn't get half the reaction when he was dropping my girl. I guess even obsessing over something has its downs, huh? I think your truck is nice and comfy if it helps. Now that we know many other groups are also making their way to our destination, I'm aware of Heyway and several Jaeger Corps, as well as the Grosritter and the Papal Guard's secret unit. You were in the Grosritter if I recall, right? Okay, so Papal Guard's secret unit, I guess that's maybe what Dude's a part of? Shady guy? Yeah, maybe he's not actually a Grail Knight, but he's basically a Grail Knight. Just, I guess, without the magic powers. It's an elite force affiliated with the Congregation of the Sacraments that primarily exists to recover artifacts, and also maybe kill people. But we focus on the recovering artifacts nowadays. And then we have the Papal Guard, the Holy City of Arteria's peacekeeping force. They have a special unit of sorts, too. No expert on it myself. Can you tell us a bit about them? No. Alright, moving on. Certainly. As you may be aware, the Grosritter is a relatively small organization composed of around 1,000 people. Wait, 1,000? I thought it was like fucking 30, maybe. You know, you got your 12 knights, they each... Well... I mean, they have a few squires apiece, if you count them as part of the organization. I feel like 100 would be kind of stretching it. Well, because I mean, let's say if you had like each person had like on average like 5 direct subordinates, and then you have like a decent number of support people back in the city. I mean, when I see Grail Knights, I really just think of the main 12. The Papal Guard is a force 300,000 strong that answers directly to the Congregation for Divine Worship. It took part in the war against the Empire. The relationship with the new congregations was strained even before that, but it became more so after the war. Still, while the Papal Guard may have the upper hand in numbers, the Grail Knights has significant advantages that the Guard does not. Man, I feel like I recognize everyone, but that one guy on the left, I don't know if I've ever seen him before. I do also kind of like, so, it's kind of weird, like, how Ainz, since she hasn't really popped up, she still kind of has, like, the Sky art style going on. Like, she kind of, like, stands out among everyone else. Because I feel like that's like the same picture they've been using for her for like 20 years now. Chief among them are the okay. I guess the Dominions are. I mean, I just kind of think of them as the Grail Knights, but that does sound familiar. They're technically a different thing. The 12 Knights that lead the organization, one of whom I used to be. Their power and the power of the unique abilities they wield is overwhelming. I was pretty dope. You encountered the 4th and 11th among them in the Blacklight District some time ago. Their strength too is incredible. Incredible enough to match that pair from the society we met yesterday. For real? Damn. That red-haired woman seems so adorable to me. That weapon she had wasn't so adorable though. Gotta have some bite to stand up against the dire wolf. Most people be scared out of their mind. So, wait. And the other hooded guy who was down there that day... He is Iskarot, second in command. Iskarot being the Papal Guard's secret unit being... I mentioned earlier. Isaac? I feel like I've seen that word before, but I've never had to say it out loud. His name is Ashlad. He does not have any extraordinary abilities like a Dominion, but he is still a veteran in combat. Okay. He learned how to wield a battle mace from me personally, so in a sense he is another student of mine. Huh. Didn't want to give his ass the stigma though. Alright, that's all I need to know. With the Papal Guard being so big, I'm sure even their secret unit's pretty sizable, huh? And the Oathbreaker's probably right that everyone taking part in this has their own schemes in mind, them included. Likely so. If I were to speculate, I would say the Grossritter aims to take Almata into custody and recover their artifacts. As for us... I need to just think of how do I want to say this going forward. Isaac? I believe they seek to destroy the artifacts or intercept their recovery, as well as execute all of Almata's members, who have no doubt long been branded as heretics. Or I don't know, like the word looks familiar. I don't know if I've necessarily seen that exact wording before, but... Execute. So their job to take out traitors and criminals sounds kind of like Hey-Way. They didn't think there were people like that I didn't think there were people like that in the church. Well, you would know if you played the previous games, and if you weren't a freaking newbie. The church's situation sounds complicated enough, and then just a small portion of the groups will be facing. Once we arrive, our first goal should be assessing the situation on the ground, I suppose. I expect to hear what headquarters plans to do soon as well. I'll know for sure if there are any Jaegers or warriors in the city once we get there. Judging by how many people are going to be gathering there, I wouldn't be surprised if Abby and the rest of our people came. I have to see what we can learn from the guild and the CID too. As soon as we finish contacting everyone and learning all we can, we'll get right to work. Sounds like we're about to get real busy. It's the ancient capital. The former capital? Ain't got no cool name, man. You're just the former capital.
We finally made it to Oracion. It's easy to tell that it's a city with a storied history just by looking at these buildings. I believe I heard the oldest cathedral in all of Calvert can be found in the eastern part of the city.
You heard right. I filmed there a few times myself. That place is always swarming with tourists.
Oh, isn't there like a super huge castle here too?
There is a palace, yes, though it was left in ruins during the Revolution. It's called Vashtar Palace, and it was once the center of the old Calvert Kingdom.
Bet that's a decently popular tourist spot too. Wait, what's that?
This man ain't never seen a trolley?
That thing's called an orbital tram. It'll take you anywhere in Oracion. They're good for scenic drives, but they ain't exactly built for speed. I'd only hop on one when you've got time to kill.
Darn, there goes that plan. We can ride one the next time we visit.
I mean, we're gonna ride the trolley. I mean, you got to.
I've come here a few times for work before, but I never thought I'd return under these circumstances.
I've taken the liberty to reserve 2 rooms for us at a nearby hotel.
I think at this point, man, we're kind of like close to needing 3 or 4 rooms. I mean, there's a lot of us.
Awesome.
Most
You're
of
a
big ass
lifesaver,
rooms.
Master. It's not always easy to book rooms on such short notice.
Oh.
So the Mafia's new base is somewhere in this city.
We'll dig those cowards out of whatever hole they're hiding in. Let's drop by the local branch first, though. We should get our ducks in a row and secure manpower before making a move.
Good thinking. Better to act with caution than with reckless abandon.
Man, they brought Clyde but left Regina back home? Oof.
While we're there, we should take the time to speak with the survivor.
Well,
we may learn
actually,
a thing or two from them.
Does kind of make sense. And would you really want to leave Clyde as the only person, only bracer in all the capital? Seems like a recipe for disaster.
Hopefully so.
Oh, yeah. Your folks are here, aren't they, Elaine? Are you planning to pay them a visit?
No. I'm only interested in handling the task at hand. And I believe our temporary collaborator shares my sentiment.
Indeed. I will assist you all to the best of my ability.
I've just confirmed that the top dogs of the guild and our young friends have entered the scene.
Well, you didn't confirm it. What's his name confirmed it?
We are still in the process of gathering intelligence on the enemy, but once our analysis is complete, I will be counting on you to do your part, Yin.
Naturally. Just so we are clear, though, I'm not a part of Heiyue, and I'm not doing this for you. However, I agree that we must do something about that weapon. It's a threat not only to the people of Calvert, but to the rest of the world as well. And I will do everything within my power to protect both my former home and my new one.
Oh, damn. Guess the so-called strongest guy who ever lived is joining the fun.
Don't fucking call him that.
Indeed. And it appears our friends from our very own Shadow Legion are here as well.
Most eye-rolly ass sentence in the entire series. At least top 10.
There are a lot of powerful players here. We've got the Mafia, the Gardens, and all these other random groups. We have our work cut out for us, don't we?
On the contrary, I believe we could have this whole ordeal settled by the end of the day.
Because she's so cool, she's so cool.
But I assume you wish to use this rare opportunity to determine what direction this continent is headed.
Yep. Plus, I'll bet there's gonna be a lot of fun surprises by the end. So we should let this show run its course.
Can't say I'm thrilled about having another run-in with that freak from the Gardens. But I'm still psyched as hell for this thing. That Dantès guy sure knows how to throw a party.
Well, good host or no, that man is a veritable monster. He's almost as bad as our friend in the silly blue coat.
Hey now, I resent that. I'll have you know I'm a model gentleman. One thing's for
I think
certain,
that's the same
though.
cigar from yesterday.
This is going to be a festival to remember.
Damn, the air in the city's toxic as hell. You aren't wrong. There are powerful foes all around us. I can feel it. Really? But the town seems so peaceful to me. Man, I wish the game's combat was hard, because like this would be kind of, you know, there's so many potentially cool boss fights that they could be setting up. There were a lot of tourists around as well, and that in and of itself is concerning given what happened. From what I heard, the state of emergency lifted after one day here. You know, I should call it the CID. Hey, it's me, the CID.
I see you have arrived safely in the city. You were nearly on time as well. I'm impressed.
Pedal to the metal? How do you set up hidden cameras in here? Never mind, what's a sitch?
We're still ascertaining the names and numbers of the enemy, but I have learned which organizations are there at present.
Why don't you share with the rest of the class then? We're all ears. No.
First, the Bracer Guild's Edith branch turned up shortly after you, and they were joined by some capable bracers from elsewhere. Then we confirmed the arrival of Heiyu Wei's White Orchid Dragon and Yin, and they likely have a large number of Shangsho accompanying them. A few Jaeger Corps have joined the fray as well, the warriors of Kruga and Eisenshield included. The church sent 2 members of the Grossritter, as well as elite members of Iscariot.
Iscariot? Yeah, sure, fine, we can say that.
Ikaruga and Marduk were also dispatched to Oracion by their clients. Oh, and your clients are there too. They are likely lurking in the shadows as we speak. That's all I have. I shall leave the rest in your capable hands. I must turn my attention to the mountain of tasks that await me.
Yeah, like answering the phone and driving the president around? Oh, so busy. Just hearing him fire with those big names one by one is something to make me nauseous. And those are just the highlights. There's still the Nikhal Corps, the Scorpions of Hot, an established corps from the Central East. The Dolar family's here too, the 3rd largest mafia in all Calvard. Then there's the Stillwater Fleet, Zacked Arms. One of them's a group of Sea Jaegers, the other's a new weapons manufacturer. What criminal organization isn't an Oracion at this point? Set off the bomb and you're gonna make Calvard great again. Every criminal in the damn country's gonna get incinerated. You got me there. Can't say I heard the last few names though. I think we've heard of most of them. Stillwater Fleet, I think those are new. We've heard of Zacked Arms, we've heard of the Dolor family, we've heard of Nidhogg. Scorpions of Zahat, I think those are new. I don't know if they've been mentioned before. I mean, they're new, but I don't know if they've been mentioned before. Not too familiar with Ikaruga, but that anything that white-haired girl's leading the charge. I'm all but certain the Marduk sent their elite unit, led by Mr. Alfayed. I sensed him earlier, so I'd say you're right on the money. I know for a fact that my people in Idas Corps are here too. And the Republican army's making their move in secret. Yeah, I feel like they're, you know, kind of the least of our worries. What is Almata plotting? Didn't you say they leaked their current location themselves? I did. They invited us out to this place knowing full well they were painting a target on their backs in the process. Must be lying in wait as we speak. I imagine we'll hear from them soon enough. Then this carnival of theirs will truly begin. The guy in armor asked me to take part in a carnival. Is that what this whole thing is about? I bet money on it. Oh. Oh, Losh, it's the fucking plot, man. That's how you know we're in the final chapter. Why is it going off now? I can only mean... Everyone's ciphers are ringing all at once? No caller ID. Gonna answer it. You have not paid your taxes.
Greetings,
please provide iTunes gift cards.
Thank you all for taking time out of your very busy schedules to come here today. My name is Gerard Dantès. I am the head of Almata, as well as the man you seek to destroy.
I'm beating around the bush, is he?
I am thrilled to announce that every one of our invitees are in attendance. No doubt you all were brought here under different circumstances, but your end goals are the same. To lead us off in chains, or lead us to an early grave. We thought about simply settling this with an all-out war, but the collateral damage would no doubt be immense. And we would never involve innocent civilians in our bloodshed. At least not without an explicit purpose. So we went back to the drawing board, and we found a far more elegant solution. We decided to host a game. One that would make clever use of the sprawling labyrinth of underground ruins just below this city. The concept is quite simple. We will have you all engage in a fierce competition where you will proceed to slaughter one another like rabid animals.
Couldn't they just not do that?
These ruins have existed since the days when this country was a kingdom, and when this city was its capital.
Like, can't they just, like, teleport in or something and instantly kill them because they're all wicked strong? I mean, one of the dudes who's the strongest man in existence.
They shall serve as the arena for our game. Once you have bathed in the blood of
do
your
like-
peers, you will earn the right to challenge one of my pawns.
Melchior doing his best album cover pose.
Should you take all of my pieces, the last team standing will have the opportunity to checkmate me here in Vashtar Palace. That is the long and short of it.
Once that duke it out in a battle royale. I mean, it is a very neat, like, setup for the chapter. It doesn't really make much sense, but you must be sick in the head to think we'll play along with this insanity.
I should mention that participation is compulsory, so I would not skip out on this if I were you. That is, if you value your own lives as well as those of the 280,000 innocents in this city.
That's a nuclear weapon. Just like the one that destroyed Cray. They had another one of those damn things after all. That must be the last of Professor Callahan's incomplete prototypes.
I trust that an explanation of this device's capabilities is
I
unnecessary.
mean, I'd hope they have more than one if they're hoping to blow the whole city up. Because, I mean, especially if you're detonated underground. I mean, it'd do some damage, but...
This game has a number of rules that govern participation, the evacuation of civilians, and other such matters. Should anyone break the rules, the device will instantly detonate, sending everyone straight to the afterlife, whether that be heaven or Gehenna. Rule violations will be assessed on a case-by-case basis by an impartial surveillance system, which is run by this relic.
6 Genesis. We knew it would be involved in some manner.
The device's judgment is absolute. Do not think you can pull the wool over its all-seeing eye. Should you wish to face me in battle, you must eliminate the other teams and conquer the game. It really is that simple. I do hope you will enjoy this carnival that we have dutifully prepared. I know that I will. Ah, and there's the noon bell. The game's first round will begin exactly 2 hours from now.
I mean, okay, so it's a slightly silly setup, but I am 1000% on board.
Each team has been assigned an entrance to the labyrinth. We will send each of you a map with their locations momentarily.
Like, I am mega on board with, like, tournament arcs. Oh, man.
Once you arrive, you will need to search for a key card that we hid near your respective entrances.
It's, like, definitely a guilty pleasure. I love tournament arcs.
And that about covers our overview. I look forward to seeing who I will fight at the end of these thrilling 3 days.
These must be the rules of the game and the map to the underground. Let's have a look at them right now. Y'all motherfuckers hate the save, man. The game begins at noon today and ends at 11:59 p.m. on November 22nd. At exactly midnight, Almata will leave the area and detonate the bomb. Now, why wouldn't we just believe they're gonna detonate the bomb as soon as we were to defeat Dude? I don't know. None of the participating players may enter or leave Oracion, nor can they call in reinforcements from the outside. Any attempt to leak information on the game to the press or the people of Oracion will result in immediate detonation. Do not attack Vashtar Palace from the outside or attempt to infiltrate it by any means other than through the established game area. At the end of each round, a new underground area will be unlocked with a boss assigned to each. The last remaining team can enter the palace. But, like, I don't... Because, I mean, there's definitely a bit of a, like... Almata feels unbelievably outclassed. I think that's definitely a problem with the setup, is that... I mean... none of them have really been set up as, like, all that convincing of, like, strong villain people. Unfortunately, it is happening. We really are being forced to participate in a battle royale. With the Genesis watching over us, we'll have to comply and abide by these rules as well. If it catches us breaking any one of them, the whole city will be destroyed. Plus, also, if we're being realistic, what would actually happen is the second one of the Jaegers gets to the bar, they get drunk and spill the beans and we'd all die. Options are limited with the entirety of Oracion's populace being held hostage. Wait a second, the bomb detonates early. They get caught up in the blast too, won't they? These guys can teleport to safety whenever they want. Yeah, so can like half of the freaking cast of people in the Battle Royale, man. Even if they couldn't, I doubt they'd do this any differently. These guys are utterly insane. So this is how they plan to exploit the fruits of Professor Callahan's labor? How utterly abhorrent. Can't say I'm happy about how they're abusing the Genesis either. Less than 2 hours till the first round begins. We have a little time to waste. What should our next move be, Van? Lunch? I said we get on the field right away. Can't afford to just sit on our hands, not with what's at stake here. Eventually need to make our way over to the entrance and grab our key card. First, I think we should walk around the South District. Should help us get our bearings. While we're in the area, we can visit the guild branch there too. Sounds like a plan. These are all the rules. I might have an idea. Oh, we didn't get our title screen. Oh no, it's still technically chapter 5. Okay. Damn, maybe he's not as good as he thought. Whatever. Fuck you too. Alright, we will call it here since my recording's at 2 hours. That's enough for 2 videos. We'll cut it up. So yeah, I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye guys.